We are 3 hours into trading. It is Tuesday, December 29th. Good morning, traders. Let's take a look at the market, see what we've got. Right now, looks like a lot of selling. We've been preparing for this, and I'll tell you why. We had this reversal right out of the opening gate here. This is a new all-time high in the market. We have $2,000 stimulus checks currently being bandied about. Maybe that gets passed, maybe not. Certainly was good news if it happened for the market because it is addicted to easy money. Instantly, we saw selling pressure. Came right down, checked the support level from yesterday, and the market could not get off the deck. Had a bearish cross right here on the 10p indicator. Now we've taken out the low. I believe we're going to see continued selling during this video. So, market overall, we've got a nice upward sloping channel. You can see it defined here. Probably going to stay within that channel. Typically how these are resolved is you'll get a blow off long green candle closing on its high and then immediate selling that brings us back into the channel, and then the lower end is breached. There is another way that this is resolved. You start heading sideways and then you break the lower bound. In any case, I feel that the market's fairly heavy in here. We're at the upper boundary of the 20-day Bollinger Band. That's not particularly good. Bullish sentiment is off the charts. The VIX, which measures fear, is also at historic lows, so a lot of complacency right now. You also have the margin borrowing rate at its highest levels ever. So a lot of people speculating, a lot of people pushing money into the market. That's usually when you've got a chance to see a market drop. The S&P 500 is trading at a PE of 40. Folks, there are not any bargains out here. So there is no hurry to rush in and buy this market. We have a Senate election runoff right after we get back next week. Don't really know how that's going to turn out. If Democrats win, there's a good chance that the Trump tax cuts could be repealed. The market won't like that. There's just uncertainty right now. I guess my underlying message is the same as it's been for the last couple of weeks. Keep it light. Reduce your trade count. Reduce your trade size. The only opportunity we're going to have is if we get a market pullback. Then we can start looking at getting more aggressive with our longs. You also don't want to be buying puts in here right now with the idea of hanging them on to any amount of time, because the market is in a 11-year bull rally. It's in a 8-month bull rally. You don't want to be picking tops. You want to make sure that you've got bona fide technical breakdowns before you short a market like this. It does remind me a little bit of what we saw during Y2K. This year we had the S&P 500 up about 16%. We had the Dow, I think, was up about 6%. The NASDAQ was up about 42%. So a huge divergence there. So let's take a look at some longs. Let's take a look at some shorts. Let's see if we can find some opportunities. I'm going to put the 5-minute chart back up. The underlying message today, be cautious. If you're able to trade intraday, I'm going to show you some opportunities. Maybe you can hold some of these positions overnight as well. So we'll go into heavy buying. Let's see what's moving. Amazon looks really, really strong. You can see market down, down, down. Amazon treading water, holding its own. It's been able to break out above the major moving averages. Right there, you've got the 100-day and the 50-day moving average. You have this nice upward sloping trend line that comes in right around 31.80. So yes, you could sell an out of the money bullish put spread on Amazon. That's one that I'm going to be highlighting right now. We'll take a look. Probably have to go out about 2 weeks to get any decent kind of premium on that because the stock is 200 points out of the money. So we'll go down to the 31.80 strike price and see what we've got there. I know what kind of credit I want to get. 31.80, 31.75. I've got 5 points between the strike prices. I need to be able to get at very least $1 on this. If I can do that, that's going to represent a 25% gain. And you can see off screen is 45 cents bid, offered at $1.75. I think $1 is very doable. So if you like Amazon, I believe their revenues were up 47% year over year. That's why you got this long green candle right here. Big volume spike right here, and follow through today. You can see the relative strength because the market is reversing the earlier gains, but not Amazon. It's because it's got good news. That is the type of relative strength that we're looking for. When you distance yourself from the action, the market can continue to go down. As long as Amazon holds that 100-day moving average, this trade is going to be in nice shape. Let's continue onward. Again, small size, trade small. That's the message. Nice upward sloping trend line on Netflix above the major moving averages. Could you sell something around the $500 strike price on Netflix? Yes, I think you could. This is actually a pretty nice little move right in here. Alibaba, very newsy. You can see the big drop here. China is trying to challenge some of its monopoly, and you can see that the stock really sold off hard. This is a type of capitulation low that I like. Makes a low, makes another low here, and actually finishes close to the high of the day, follow through the next day that takes you through the opening and the prior day's high. This is a nice bar right in here. I'm thinking that this may be a capitulation low for Alibaba. So that's another one that you want to keep on your radar. With Alibaba, you're in the gap also. That helps. This gap tends to fill. At very least, it should be able to get to the 200-day moving average. This is a very risky trade. This is something that I would only day trade. I would not be looking to position trade this or overnight this type of trade because it is like catching a falling knife. Before you can be sure that something like this is going to continue to move higher, you would have to form a base with multiple tests of that support level. This is not a bottom fishing type of chart that I would normally look for, but there are some signs here of a capitulation low just based on this little price action right in here. So for day trading, certainly have been long it today, did very well with that stock. Snap looks a bit heavy to me. Don't see anything great there. A couple of long red bars closing on their low. Looked like the stock was going to roll over. It spiked a little bit. It challenged that resistance level again today, and it actually backed off, and now it's on its low of the day. It's selling off with the market. Long tails above body. That suggests resistance in here. I think Snap, I hope I didn't say Snapple, Snapchat could be a decent short. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. And here you can see the opening gap higher, follow through, and now that opening price has failed with the stock coming in, probably going to fill in this gap right in here. So even though it was on a bullish list, could be a good short. Intel, this came up on a bullish explosion alert right here. Really big. Take a look at the daily chart. It's been very weak recently as well. Too choppy. I don't see any great opportunities there or any big price movement that we can latch onto. I'm going to take a look at relative strength 30. When you have 30 minutes worth of market selling like this, this is the search that you want to use because now you're going to be able to go in and you're going to be able to find stocks that are holding up very well. As we look through this list, look at PDD. Look at it hold the gain so far today, even with that weak market backdrop. It wants to go higher. You can see Alibaba near its high of the day, continuing to march. I'm going to leave you with those. Those are good enough bullish picks for you. I like Netflix. I liked Amazon selling it out of the money bullish put spread. I liked the action in BABA today. This looks really good to me. I like the action in PDD. Intel, I think you got to find out what the news is, and you would want to see continuation here. Now, this half of this long green candle has been able to hold. That's a good sign. You want to use that as your stop. If you're going to be entering the trade here, 49.40 would be your stop. You want to see it float higher right up to that close, and then you want to see it lift off and keep going. If that happens, then you know that the news for Intel is going to have some legs to it. Let's go into the bearish side and see what we've got there, see if there's anything that pops out. I told you, I think Snap, I am, full disclosure, I am short SNAP right now. And let's take a look at some of these. You're going to see some profit taking in some of the high flyers this year. So capital gains are going to be locked in, and they're going to be selling funds. They'll be selling some of their losers, so they'll have a loss that's offset by a gain, which will net out for them for tax purposes. You can see NVTA. This is a pretty nasty little chart. You see a dip here, you get a little bit of a bounce, and then the sellers are right back again. And today it has poked below the 100-day moving average. Because it is a relatively choppy stock like this, I think that you'll want to wait for the next little rally up and make sure that that halfway point on the red candle holds, and then on the next dip below that 100-day moving average, that's when you can short it. That's how I would play that one. So I wouldn't jump on anything right now that's got, the bottom falling out. You can see Dell, double top, lower high kind of forming right in here. You've got an upward sloping trend line right in here that's being breached. You have major support right in here around the 70-50 level. If I draw a line across visually, that 70-50 has got to hold. Until the stock is below 70-50, I wouldn't short it, but here's what happens. You've got a nice technical breakout, buy, 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 on the notion that this breakout is going to have legs and it's going to continue higher. As soon as that breakout fails, anyone that bought the breakout in here is going to be exiting before they sustain losses on it. So that will be their stop. As they start getting stopped out, you'll see the selling pressure accelerate on the backside. I like Dell as a short here. I think this is a nice looking chart, but 70-50 is the key number. And look at the selling right there. Pretty sustained, pretty heavy. PEIX, take a look at the daily chart. Breaking through this horizontal support. Gosh, what do I do with that? I click GTC and I click on that candle right there. If it breaks that horizontal support right there, I'm going to get a trade alert and I will know that I've got something decent setting up. Big bearish engulfing candle right here. So you've got a big sell-off, then you've got one of these inside days, and then a resumption in the selling, some follow through today. NET looks like it could be in a little bit of trouble. So that is not a bad looking short either. Starting to drift lower today. I would like to see a little bit better selling pressure today, but I think that one sets up pretty well. So you've got a couple that you can take a look at right off the gate. Relative weakness. Let's see what we've got here. CRWD has been a big runner, and you're going to see some profit taking. Any chart that goes parabolic like this, those are the ones that are going to be vulnerable to some profit taking. Again, there was a reason that the stock rallied like this. There's some good news in it, but it got overextended. And now you're going to see a pullback. So this means day trade it, small overnight short position. Yes, maybe if you've got that type of follow through, but is this something that I want to be buying longer term puts on? No, probably not, because this stock is going to find support, probably going to rally up. Maybe it takes out the high, maybe it makes a lower high. Still too early to aggressively short something like this on a longer term basis. Day trade at short side, you betcha. Looks good to me. I think that's going to do it for today. I'm going to try and keep these videos very short for you. The market looks like it's going to come in today. You can see how we've got follow through selling, long red bars in here. We easily took out that support level. We'll go to a 15-minute chart. Now you can see how yesterday's low right here was just tested. That was the low yesterday. Put up the crossbar. That's the low yesterday. You can see how we just tested it. That low is probably going to fail given this selling pressure and this selling pressure today. As that happens, some of this gap is going to fill in. Know that bullish sentiment is high. Know that option implied volatilities are very low. There's no fear in the marketplace. We had fantastic news that there might be another $2,000 stimulus check cut. Market didn't care. Market didn't rally on that news. Good news is priced in at a PE of 40 on the S&P 500 right now. You've got people borrowing on margin at the highest level in many years. So be cautious. There are no bargains out there right now. Hopefully I've given you a couple of longs that you might consider and a couple of shorts. Trade well. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers, and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.